Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that I shouldn't be nervous because no one's putting a gun to my head. I don't have to upload this after I film it. Though granted, if you are viewing this, clearly, I've decided I wanted to put this out to the world. For a long time, slash the whole time I've been on YouTube, I guess, I try my best to keep my personal life off of it, which I think is important, and I'm still mostly going to do that, but in order to talk about this, I have to bring some of my personal life in, right? So I'm talking about dating. Dating sucks. It's the worst, and also, here we go, it can also be the best. I have been trying to put myself out there for, about the past year, I would say. Prior to that, I was either way too busy with school, grad school, whatever, because whenever I was in school, I was working either 2 or 3 jobs, plus going to school. Like, I didn't have time to date. As far as I know, there wasn't anyone I was interested in anyways, but I certainly wasn't seeking out anybody, I was also going through a really hard time during those periods with my depression, my anxiety, all of that, and it wasn't something I was seeking out, it's one of those things where, yeah, it'd be nice, but I'm not actively trying to get that into my life, having a partnership with somebody. I guess I was certainly a late bloomer in the sense of, like, love and like just even having attraction or want for a partner. I would say probably not until like maybe senior year of high school did I feel like maybe I wanted to be with somebody. And it was always so hard because even in like elementary school, people would always ask like, oh, who do you have a crush on? And I would always this is so pathetic, but I mean, it's not pathetic, but there was one kid, I'll call him Schmo. I don't know that I ever actually spoke to Schmo. His name wasn't Joe. I don't know why I picked out Schmo. It doesn't rhyme with anything. It means nothing. But I knew he was a person. He was a boy. And I think he was kind of cute, but like I didn't really know. But so whenever anyone asked, I always said Schmo. And like that was through high school. It was always, oh yeah, I've got a crush on Schmo. And people would be like, oh, go talk to him. Oh no, I can't. I didn't want to. But I feel like he was a safe enough bet where like he wasn't super social or anything, so like I didn't have a fear that like people would actually ask him like, so how do you feel about Cassie? I mean, maybe they did and he was like, no thanks. But either way, so I certainly was in love and in a relationship for a few years, and it ended very badly. And after that was school. It was like in the beginning parts of college. I don't know. I mean, these things don't really matter. But so once I was done with my schooling anyways, blah, 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 I was still in a rut place with myself emotionally, but I still wanted more than ever to really connect with somebody on that level. At least, like I had in the past. I have been in love once before and it ended really badly, but I wanted that kind of a connection, that kind of emotional support and bond with somebody, I guess. But I was just in a really crappy place emotionally. So I took some time. I mean, I tried doing relationships in that time period and it was a mistake. It just doesn't work out, it really is the whole like, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? It's mostly true, you don't have to love yourself 100%, but you certainly need to have at least a degree of love for yourself, and I think at the time I had 0 love for myself, or at least a very little value and self-worth for myself. And then eventually, I worked on myself, especially this past year. I really, after being on the Doctor's TV show, I worked very hard on myself, and I still am continuing to work hard on myself. Am I perfect? No, but I am much nicer to myself. I am just better in general as a person, and so this past year I decided, you know, I was mentally in a space where I wanted to open myself up to somebody, and I've gone on so many horrible dates, and they just, you know, I shouldn't stereotype or generalize, but I feel like I need to. The guys of my generation, I feel like, are awful. Not all, like I said, there are the good ones out there. I just have a horribly hard time finding them. Again, I'm generalizing, but a lot of guys, they're flaky, they don't know what they want, they don't want a commitment, and unfortunately in this time and age, with the technology that we have, they don't need to commit. So it's just, it's tough. And it's especially, I guess, I feel like especially tough for me in that I don't open myself up physically very soon in a relationship. Like, I have never, and there's nothing wrong. If you want to hop into bed with somebody on your first date, do it. You know, that's your body, your choice. You do you. I just never have been comfortable doing that. I take a minute, you know, to really break down my walls and want to give myself to somebody fully. And there had been a couple times where it's like, oh, I finally met this great guy, and then it just didn't end up working out. Like, this year has been, it's been a year. And in these past couple months, I met somebody. I feel so pathetic. Like, we were only dating for a couple months, but, and certainly I was not in love with him. I don't think he was in love with me. You know, a couple months is pretty soon to say the love word, but I really liked him, and I thought things were going so well. I really did. I mean, it had been a long time since I felt so connected with somebody. Like, we just had so much in common. I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, even on our very first date, it was like almost everything we were saying, it was like, oh my gosh, me too. Like, it's so rare to find that in a person. Like, oh my gosh, me too. It just was like an instant thing. I just pretty much instantly felt very comfortable around him, felt very safe and secure and wanted. And in those couple months that we were dating, we talked every single day. Every day. Since, well, I mean, you know, since I matched with him online. Since that day, we talked every single day, even if it was just a little bit, but like, he had become a constant in my life. I saw him like 2 to 3 times a week. We would hang out, you know, and he became important to me. Unfortunately, timing just wasn't on our side. He thought he was in the right place to be dating again, and it turns out with time he found out that he wasn't, and I could be wrong, but I think when we started dating, I think he was ready. I do, and I think he wanted to find someone to open up with. Like, I feel like he was very much like me in that sense, where we don't let our guards down. We don't open those walls of our hearts up to many people. And for him, I could be wrong, but I don't think romantically he ever has before, maybe with friends. But either way, I felt like he was at least kind of opening up to me. You know, slowly but surely. And, you know, for me, that's comfortable in a relationship. Like, I feel like being friends first is a good thing. I mean, that's just me. That's my comfort level, I guess. And with time, I felt like I felt like we really connected, and like it was a good thing we had going on. And I think I think I was falling for him a lot more than I wanted to let myself believe. I mean, since my like first love relationship or whatever ended, I don't remember the last time I've cried like this. And that was a like 3-year long relationship. This was only a couple months, and I was so attracted to him, you know, emotionally, physically. Like, he just seemed awesome. I don't want to say perfect because no one's perfect. And I felt very cared about and desired. And I guess that's just not something I feel very often. Whether it be there just aren't that many people that are like attracted to me as a person and how I look, or if it's just because I don't allow for it to happen, but like it felt very mutual and it just felt really good. Recently, I guess it was, 4 days ago? I'm filming this on a Saturday and this was on a Tuesday. I could tell, you know, I mean, I could just, you can tell when a person is pulling away. You just can. And I had felt that for like about a week prior to this happening. I kind of felt like he was closing himself off, putting guards up, wasn't talking to me as much, and when he was, the answers were like much shorter, much more just not caring or invested, I guess. You know, like it's the kind of thing I would be like, hey, how's your day going? And it would be like, yeah, it was good. When before it was like, yeah, it was good. You know, how are you? What did you do today? Conversation, I guess. And for that week leading up to this, I just felt like I was pulling teeth with him, but I wanted to chalk it up because he was having problems in an area of his life. I mean, like I said, I'm not here to get personal. Like, I'm not here to air anybody's dirty laundry. That's not my business. But he was struggling in a part of his life, and I chalked it up to that, you know? Like, he had every right to be feeling confused and hurt and whatever in this other part of his life. I mean, I guess I can say none of you know who I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm being like this guarded about it. He was having problems with his job. His job was not being very nice to him. I'll say that much. And like I said, he had every right to feel like he was being treated badly by the company because he was. And so he was struggling with like, you know, do I just hang in there or do I quit and find a different job? Like, you know, he thought this was really what he wanted to do and like he loved it, and then got crapped on by the company. That sucks just in general, but also I feel like, and this is another generalization, stereotype, whatever, but like guys tend to take a lot more pride in their job, and I think it's a lot more linked to ego and that sort of thing. I don't know what it is, and like I said, that's a stereotype, but I feel like it's an even bigger hit to a guy than it is to a girl a lot of the times. Almost like self-worth stems from how they're doing in the workplace. And I got it. Like I said, he was being treated really crappily by his job. I would have felt bad too, and I probably would have been in a mood too. So I didn't think anything of it, and I just tried to be really patient and understanding. You know, I took the time to listen to him vent. I wanted to. Like, when you care about somebody, you want them to be happy. Even if it means not being with you. And I think it had a lot to do with it. His problem with his job. I think that kind of started him shutting down. And then I think, and I could be wrong, but I think for some people it's just easier to quit. And from what I can tell, that's what he tends to do, is just to cut off everything. Like, when feeling emotionally lost and confused, it's like, okay, nope, I'm putting all my walls up in every aspect of my life. Like, yeah, this is only the job thing that's hurting right now, but like, nope, I'm gonna do it with friends, with relationship, everything. It sucks because I get it. And it also sucks because I want to be there for him. But it also sucks because I think he needs to figure it out on his own, you know? What he wants to do with his life and where he's going with things. He was younger than me. just by a couple years, but like, I remember where I was when I was 26, and like, it was a very different point in my life than now at 28. So I get it. And it sucks that I get it, because I can't be mad. But I mean, I said it? He broke up with me. And I could tell, like I said, I mean, he was definitely pulling away in terms of talking, and in terms of like when I would go over to his place, he wouldn't like sit with me on the couch. He would sit on the chair next to the couch. And then I could especially tell when we were gonna go out to eat this last Tuesday. You know, I asked him, because the place was pretty close to my place, and I asked him if he just wanted me to meet him there, or if he wanted to come swing by and pick me up, which is what he usually would do. And he said, let's just meet there. And I was like, oh my god, he probably is gonna break up with me, and he wants to be able to, he doesn't want to have to drive me home after this. And sorry if I keep looking at my monitor. I'm checking my battery's a little close to dying, but I'm just checking to make sure I'm still recording. But I was like, it's okay. I'm building these things up in my head. Like, maybe he has something else going on today and needs to leave right after this. Like, who knows? And then I got there, and things seemed totally fine, totally normal, seemed like his normal self. And then we went and ordered our food, and they asked if we were paying together, which we always did. You know, we just kind of alternated. It was kind of an unspoken thing, I guess, you know, like, oh, he paid for the last date, so I'm paying for this date, and then it would just go on. We never talked about it. We just did it that way. And he had paid for our last date, so I was like, oh, it's together, you know, I've got it. And he looked at me and was like, I can pay for my own. I was like, oh my god. He's gonna break up with me. I just know it. I just knew it. But I didn't. I just said, no, like, I got this. You got the last one, blah, blah, blah. Either way, I paid. I wasn't gonna let this happen. Or at least I wanted to convince myself that it wasn't happening. And we sat. We ate our food. It was all fine and dandy. We had good conversation, like usual. And then all of a sudden, he was joking around with me, and, you know, I feel like when I say, or I feel like a lot of the times when joking around with people, like, if they made a really bad joke or something, I'll say, you know, like, oh my god, like, you're the worst. Or, you know, like, oh my god, like, you're a horrible person. It's all joking. And then he was just kind of like, haha, so, speaking of me being a horrible person, and I was like, oh my god. It was one of those days where I was like, I knew it. I knew it. And he just said, you know, like, I don't think that I'm in the right place. Or I know that I'm not in the right place. I can't be in a relationship right now. And that's it, you know, and he explained to me, you know, he doesn't feel like he can invest himself, and it's not fair to me for him to do that. And I get it, and I definitely give him a lot of props and respect that he even said this to me in person, because I'm so used to either just getting ghosted or, you know, through a text saying like, hey, it's not gonna work out, after like not hearing from them for a couple weeks. Like, so credit where credit is due. He's a good person. And, you know, I get so scared because there's so many stupid things online and, you know, in movies or, you know, whatever it is. You don't want to be the desperate girl. You don't want to come off too strong. Whatever. And so I was trying my best. You know, I mean, I stayed very calm. We're in a public place. I was so embarrassed, that I was crying. Because like I said, I didn't quite realize that I cared that much. I knew I cared, but I guess not that much. And, I was also wearing not waterproof mascara that day, so I knew I looked awful. And I was like, well, this isn't helping my case. He's certainly not going to want to get back with me now. And, you know, I tried to kind of very calmly reason with him, or like say like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but like, please, like, I don't want to lose you. And he said, you know, like, he doesn't want to lose me either. He still really wants to be friends. Like, he really, really likes me and thinks I'm a cool person and whatever else. And I just told him, you know, like, I've heard that one before and I never hear from the person again. So, like, I feel like I'm never going to hear from you again. And he gave me his word that he still wants to be friends, whatever. And he made plans with me for within the next couple days. And so, like I said, this was on a Tuesday, and he was like, let's get together on Thursday. I said, okay, you know, like, holding you to it. And even after that, you know, like, we still stuck around and talked for at least another hour or so. Just like normal conversation, joking around. After he broke up with me. But like on the way out, you know, it's one of those things where I don't know if he like knew that I was hurting, so he didn't know if I wanted to be touched at all. And I get that, but like, after you're so used to like hugging and kissing someone goodbye, and he didn't even hug me, I just like, I had a feeling in my gut like this was it. You know, it certainly wasn't ever going to be the same again. And, you know, again, to his merit, he did contact me the next day to make sure we were getting together on Thursday, and we got together on Thursday, and I was kind of dreading it, because I think the thought of, like, staying friends is good, especially when things didn't end. Like, he wasn't mad at me, we didn't fight, like, he's just not at the right point in his life, and, so, like, there was no animosity with this breakup, you know, so, like, in theory, like, yeah, we could still be friends, but I knew, at least for me, I'm at that point in my life where I want a relationship, and I wanted a relationship with him. And I didn't know if I would be able to just be friends, because I knew that a part of my heart was still going to be holding on to, like, oh, maybe once he figures his stuff out, you know, like in a few months, a year, whatever, then he'll want me back. And so I knew that if I was going to stay friends with him, I wouldn't be open to new relationships. And, like, that's certainly potentially not fair to me either, because who knows, maybe my someone will come along in this next year that isn't him. We hung out on Thursday and it was fine, it was good, but, like, I guess I wasn't feeling comfortable with it. And so I mean, on Tuesday, I didn't feel like I had articulated myself very well. Because I wasn't blindsided by him breaking up with me, but I was expecting it, but I wasn't. And so when it happened, I guess I didn't have a speech prepared or, like, anything. And so I didn't know, there were certain things that I wanted to clarify and talk to him about. And I just wasn't sure. I knew I had to do it on Thursday. But the whole time we hung out, I just didn't and put it off and put it off and put it off, and then it was about time I had to go. I had plans that night to see other friends, and I finally got the courage, brought it up, you know, like, so, you feeling better after Tuesday, like, about us? And, you know, he said, yeah, and, you know, I think he did feel good, but I also don't. I don't know, I could be wrong. It's like, I only knew the guy for a couple months, so like, I could be totally making this up and like, just idealizing him in my head. But like, the look in his eyes, A, when he broke up with me, and then B, when we were talking about, you know, us later on, like, he just looked hurt and uncomfortable and sad about it. But, you know, I asked him if he saw anything in the future with us happening again, and he didn't really answer. And I said, you know, like, do I need to be looking elsewhere for a relationship? And he said, I think that would be for the best. Because he doesn't want me to wait around for him. And I told him that I can't be friends with him. I can't. I know myself too well. And I know that it would hurt me. It would hurt me a lot. And, it sucks. Because I want to be there for him. Even if it is just as a friend. Because like I said, I do know that he's struggling. And I want him to be able to lean on me. But he wants to figure things out himself, and I get that. But I guess I've also been in that place where I'm too scared. I don't know if he's in the same place in terms of pride, but like for me, you know, I've certainly been too prideful at certain points where I've got too much pride to ask for help or to take help that is offered to me. And so I think that bit of being scared and prideful and stuff, he's pushing me away. He did push me away. He doesn't... I mean, I'm projecting myself. I know. But I think he wants a relationship. But I think he's too scared to try. I just do. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't. And as of right now, I probably never will know. Because as of right now, you know, I told him, if you ever want to rekindle things or like have me in your life again, call me. I hope I'm available for you when and if that time comes. I don't know that that time will come, you know, because I don't know if he was being dramatic or whatever, but I mean, he said he basically probably would never date again, because he just can't, whatever. It just, I guess at this point in my life, after having allowed myself to get help with my mental health and everything, I want so badly for everyone else around me, especially the people in my life that I love. You know, like I said, I don't think I was at that point with him. But you know what I mean? The people in your life that you really care about, you want them to get help. Because you know how great it can be. It's so hard in the beginning, it is, and it's scary, but I want that so badly for him. And I hate feeling this helpless in the situation, because I know help is not something you can force on somebody. They have to want the help. And he doesn't want the help. That sucks. Because I mean, who knows, maybe he doesn't feel it, but like, I don't want him to feel like I abandoned him. because I know that I have certainly felt that way in the past when I've been struggling and put a wall up with somebody and then they just end up leaving me. I don't want him to feel like I did that, but I also know that I have to be kind to myself. I can't put myself through that kind of emotional torture to be there for him. And maybe that is selfish of me, but he has friends. He doesn't need me as a friend. So I guess that's where I am. At night it's so hard here. I don't know, I guess like I said earlier, I think I said anyways, like he's become a constant in my life. When I woke up I thought of him. During the day I thought of him. Before going to bed I thought of him. And so now, like right now, before bed, I'm just thinking, you know, like, do we have another crappy day at work? Did he talk to anybody about it? Is he feeling alone right now? Is he struggling? And I want to be there for him. And it sucks that I can't. It really does. And I know I'll move on. I know I'll get over it. It's just hard. It's really, really hard to let go of somebody you love. But I know that it's for the best. You know, like I said, I mean, I'm just talking in circles at this point, but there are definitely things in life that you need to figure out on your own, and I think he's at that point in his life, and I hope he does figure things out. And I mean, right now, I'm certainly in the mindset that I hope he figures things out and then wants me back in his life. But more than anything, I just want him to be happy. And I want him to figure things out so that he can be happy. Because like I said, he's a good guy. He's a really good person. And he deserves to be happy. I wish I could be there to share that happiness and aid in that happiness, but you know, it's sometimes things are not, the timing's wrong. The timing's wrong. Who knows, maybe if I would have met him a few years from now, things could have worked out between us, but for now, I'm alone again. And I don't know when I'm gonna be able to start dating again and when I'm gonna be able to open myself up to somebody again, because now I'm like really scared of getting hurt again. Because it's hard when you see something so good in your life. I'm trying to, how do I even put this in words, but like, when you meet someone that fits so well with you and that just works so well with you, when you find someone or something that compatible and then it doesn't work out, it feels like you're never gonna find that again. I hope I do, and hindsight is always 20/20. Like I said, who knows, maybe I'll meet the absolute love of my life very soon. And I'll look back and be able to say, God, I can't believe I cared about him that much. You know, I'm sure there were things that were not good about him. There are things that are not good about all of us. But you know, once you've had time to step away from a situation, especially with relationships, it takes time to be able to look back and be like, oh yeah, that was not so great. But right now I'm just remembering the happy good stuff, and so it hurts that much more. I'll be splicing this in somewhere. But I had shut off my camera and I was walking away, and then I started thinking about it, and I don't think I talked about this. I feel like I probably made it sound very... Did I? I don't know. I haven't watched the footage, but I feel like I probably made it sound very one-sided, that I really liked him. But like, it was one of those things where I could tell that he liked me too. You know, when sometimes you like question it, like, I don't know that they're really that into me, or I feel like I like them more than they like me. Like, I never felt that way. I always felt very thought of and cared about. I know it's just like little things, you know, the first date we went on, you know, you don't ever really talk about anything too important on a first date. We did. We got into politics and religion and kids and all that stuff. Which was weird, but also awesome. Because like I said, it was one of those things where it was like, oh my, me too! And I think somehow we were talking about food. I shouldn't say somehow. Of course we were talking about food. Food is wonderful. But I said, you know, usually my breakfast is usually at lunchtime, because at that time my sleep schedule was super messed up, and so I would be waking up around lunchtime, noon, 1 o'clock, and so usually my breakfast, even though I love breakfast foods, I usually have salad for breakfast. Whatever. But like, I usually have salad every day. Super small things, super in passing. And then for our second date, he took me out to a salad place. I mean, it's not just a salad place, but like mainly they just have salads. Because he knew that that was going to be my first meal of the day, and I would probably want a salad. Like, stupid little things like that. And even, you know, like, I feel like it's also a, like, dumb thing to say, but like, and it's not that I expect people to, like, tiptoe around me being a vegetarian, but like, he's not a vegetarian. But he was still very conscious and like would make sure before we went out to eat somewhere that I would have plenty of options. And like, when he cooked for me, he made something vegetarian, even though he was not, like, just stupid little things like that. But, you know, when you can just tell, it's like the person in the group where, like, if you're watching something, or like if you and your friends are all having a conversation together, and like, there's that one person that looks at you to see if you're laughing. Did that all the time. It's just that feeling of like, he made me feel so attractive. Just as a person. You know, the whole package. He made me feel thought of. Cared about. It's been a really long time since I felt like someone cared about me that much. And so I feel like that's what makes this extra hard, because as much as he obviously wanted to break up, I also feel like he didn't. And it sucks because I want to be like, you don't have to break up with me. You don't. can still be together and you can still figure your stuff out on your own. You know, I can give you space. We don't have to hang out as much, like... You don't have to let me go, you know? I don't want you to. I just hate knowing that it's even possible that he might be hurting as much as I'm hurting. God, I can't even think straight. But in any case, you know, it just sucks to know that he doesn't have to be hurting alone. I could be there for him, and I would be a safe person to at least try. You know, even if things didn't work out in the end, you know, like, at least try. Like, take down your smallest of walls with me. Excuse me. You know, like, you don't have to take down your biggest emotional wall, but, like, whatever your tiniest one is, like, maybe you're insecure about a freckle on your arm or something, you know? If that's, like, the least of your biggest insecurities, just try. You know, try letting down that one wall with me. Like, I can and will be that safe space for you to do that. And I guess I'm just at a point in my life where it's like, I just want to love someone. Damn it. And I just want someone to accept my love. You know? And for a while it felt like he was. But again, like I said, I think he was also really scared. And so instead of keep trying, he quit. I don't want him to go through the rest of his life feeling like no one will be able to 100% accept him for who he is. And I wanted to be that person for him. But time was not on our sides. He's just not there right now. And it sucks. And I know this is also very trivial and dumb, but he always smelled good. And he was a really good cuddler and a really good kisser. Damn it. Like, the best. Damn it. But, anyways, I don't really know the point of this video other than maybe it was therapeutic for me to sit here and talk to a camera by myself instead of just crying into my pillow. Could be. Will I ever publish this? I don't know. Did you just watch it? Then yes, I will. Otherwise, this might just sit on my memory card forever, but either way, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for allowing me to open up a part of my life to you. I know that there are a lot of things going on in the world that are much more pressing and much worse than this, and I know people going through much bigger heartbreaks than this and that have gone through much bigger heartbreaks than this, and so this probably all sounds very trivial and stupid. But hopefully you can cut me some slack and see that I'm coming from a place of just really liking somebody. And if anything, you can empathize knowing how it feels to lose somebody that you like. So, if any of you watching this are going through the same thing, know that you are not alone. There are many other people out there feeling the same way as you, and it sucks. It sucks real hard. But I'm trying. It's getting a little easier day by day here, but I'm trying to keep my head held high, keep a positive attitude, and just kind of come to terms with, like, this is for the best. The things will work out, and things will be good. I hope. They will be. It'll be fine. So, anyways, like I said, thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you all very soon.